Well, as we start our intermediate division here, we've got 3 heats. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring 3 back from each class, and we'll select our champion and reserve intermediate showman out of that deal. I'll talk to these kids that we excuse individually on some things that we need to work on, but as they leave the ring, let's make sure they get a nice round of applause.
Why?
There's too many of them.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. She should not be watering her hog right now. Yikes. She got behind the judge right off the bat, unfortunately. Yeah, she couldn't get it. Yeah. Good girl. Don't hit it. She's doing good. She's not touching it with the whip. Oh. Get around, Kendall. Get around, Kendall.
There's going to be a baby class after this. 5 minutes break to let everyone get settled up.
I just want to make sure you do.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. He's got plenty of time. I wasn't sure when he was going to do that.
Yeah, no, it'll be after that PB's done, we'll do the 5 minutes.
Oh, I know.
Usually it's pretty good. Wild giant.
I know.
She's put customer sticking shirt.
That may give everybody time to get settled back there and back out of here.
At this time, I'd like to thank all the sponsors for the sheep showmanship division and the sheep show here at the Klamath County Fair. That would be Klamath Falls Dental Specialist, Basin Eye Care,
So do you want to wait until after the
Dr. and Mrs. Mark Orland,
after Kendall's in?
Dr. Vince Herr,
No, when it's all,
Bell Hardware,
it's all day.
Okay.
LJM Errant Sheep,
Let's get a little closer.
Poe Valley Community Club, Klamath County School District, Novak's Auto Parts,
Get closer.
Amy Hathaway and Eric Noble, the Horsley Farms, Macy's Flying Service, Southtown Commerce Center, McDonald's, Subway, and Black Bear Diners.
I don't know if they're from the same litter. They're from the same place.
Too close, Kendall. Urgh.
It's getting cranky.
Kendall, be more aggressive, girl. Kendall. She didn't want to do it before. Come on, Kendall. Kendall, be more aggressive. She's not being aggressive enough. She is. She just needs to stay in front. Turn, there you go. No, but Kendall, gosh darn it. She just turned away from the judge instead of.
Powering through.
See, like right there. Ah, Kendall, killing me.
For our second group of intermediates here, let's make sure they get a nice round of applause as they exit. We'll keep the three young ladies closest to me here and bring them back for the champion drive. So again, a nice round of applause for this group.
Get there, Kendall, quickly. No, Kendall. Good girl. That's what you need to do, Kendall.
Earl's Custom Butchering, one of the places you can send your food.
Yeah, you can. Good, Kendall. Please don't move this.
Well, I wish that my art teacher in high school would have applauded me when I drew a circle that bad. We're going to go ahead and play another game with these intermediate, these top four. I went ahead and placed basically from 5 down and visited with those young people. So here's what we're going to do, you top four. We're going to drive into the middle of this circle. I don't want your hog to step outside of the middle of this circle, okay? I want all 4 of you inside the circle starting now.
All 4? Holy shiza. Oh my goodness. That's intense. So they're gonna have to work together to help each other out. That's tough. Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you tell him they could go out? Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you said wrong. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
This is like, I'm not moving. I'm over this crap. Done. That's what stinks when you can't work them. They don't have any stamina.
Yeah. Her being so sick. I'm surprised she's made it. So that's on her face to prove. Doing good, Maddie.
So as we end up our last class of intermediates here, let's make sure that the ones against the rail get a nice round of applause as they exit, and we'll bring the others in to select our champion intermediate.
Well, we get out here for our champion intermediate drive, and I think 4 individuals that all need to be commended, and they do an exceptional job. And this is when I strongly despise judging showmanship, because any of these 4 individuals can move to Nebraska and show hogs for me any day of the week, and I would love to have them. And I think what you saw me do with the circle in the middle of the ring, I watched a mentor of mine at World Pork Expo one year do that with the senior showmanship division, except he stuck 10 hogs and 10 kids in the middle of that ring.
Jeez.
And what I thought was interesting was he drove them in that ring for about 5 minutes, and not a single hog stepped out. But there was a kid from Texas that won senior showmanship and won it fairly handedly, and at the World Pork Expo level, that's a huge feat. And that kid could split the middle of that circle, and it was like the seas were parting. And he'd drive right down the center of it, and then he'd drive all the way around, and that hog never stepped foot on the line. And I thought that was kind of where you guys kind of ease up, okay? That was kind of where we got into, and that's why I had these young people do it, was just to see. I mean, it was more to show off their skills and what what they can do. And I don't necessarily think it helped me sort them any one way. The young lady that stepped out, that's not necessarily saying she goes fourth. It was just to exhibit to you guys how much time, effort, and hard work is put into this project. And I think these 4 individuals that are still in the center of the ring, we need to give them a big round of applause. I'm really excited that we get to come back and do an overall showmanship thing, and if any of the seniors that get to come back for that are standing ringside, you better have your mirrors on, because these guys are coming, and they're coming hard and fast. And I'm not saying that age is going to make any difference in this showmanship thing, and that's why I sit here and I'll be completely honest with you. At this point in the game, I'm really not 100% sure what I'm going to do out here between these 4 individuals, and I'll talk each one of them and in no particular order. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the young lady with the Yorkshire Gilt. I think this young lady's at clearly a size disadvantage. I think if there's an individual in this ring that has worked harder than any of them, it's this young lady. This gilt just started quitting her. She drove out, and instead of getting worked up, instead of crying, and I always tell kids there's no crying and showing hogs, and instead of getting worked up and freaking out, this young lady stayed cool, she stayed calm, she stayed collected, she drove that gilt right back into that circle, and I thought that was really awesome, and I think that's something great to have, especially working in the livestock industry, is they don't work the way we want them to, so sometimes you just gotta be patient. Young man driving the kind of this big spotted gilt over here does an awesome job, and I'll be the first one to admit, you guys, some of these hogs get a little bit vocal. I mean, we get to them heavyweights and they just get a little worn out and get a little grumpy, and I think if you can work through that, I mean, yeah, it's a little harder to talk and to hear myself think, but if you can work through that and still get that hog driven and you keep them out of the corner, especially as many times as these hogs have been in that ring, that's a really big feat, and I think that young man does a really, really nice job with that. I think he's just a pretty consistent, cool showman that always has that hog in front of me, and he's always showing me the right views. The young lady back in the blue shirt, she's kind of the same way. They're kind of a mold of each other. She's Barrow, same way, really vocal. She works him through it extremely well. I would say in terms of answering questions, this young lady probably did one of the better jobs, and one of the last question I asked right at the end was, what's one thing you've learned from this experience that will play forward into the real world? And I fielded that question, and once again, it's one of those questions where there wasn't a right answer. I just wanted to see what they said, and all the kids I thought had great answers. But a young lady that, once again, I think she does an awesome job, and just fault-free and very smooth out here. And then the young lady with the other belted gilt, this is one that at times, I'd say she's a little more up and down. At times she kind of wants to get a little lost in the crowd, but at times she drives that gilt really, really well, and she gives me the views that I want to see, and at times I'm thinking, okay, she's going to make it easier on me because she's a logical force, but then at times she plays into it and I'm like, this is tough. And so I think 4 extremely good showmen. I'm going to go ahead and put the mic down. Let's give these guys a big round of applause, and I'll go ahead and go out and figure out what I'm going to do.